This is Robert Whitten, editor of Employee Benefit Advisor. Today, again, I'm talking to Tracy Watts, senior consultant, Mercer. We're highlighting some of the findings from their recent national healthcare survey. We're going to talk about a couple of things. We've covered a couple of things over the last couple of installments, and I want to just touch upon some of the sort of the buzzwords still in the industry. The first would be consumer-driven health. Give me a little better understanding of what you guys have learned through this survey and through talking with employers recently on the consumer-driven health trend.
Okay. Well, so far nationally, we're at about 7% of employees that are enrolled in a consumer-directed health plan. So we haven't yet hit the double digits. We know that most of them are enrolled in a health reimbursement account type program versus an HSA, and that's because they've been around longer, and I think that employers like the idea of the notional account versus actually funding money into the HSA that becomes the employee's money. So that's where we are with regard to the evolution of them. The interesting thing that we asked is, do you think that a consumer-directed account will be the only thing that you offer 5 years from now? And about 8% of employers said that they did think that that would be the only plan that they would offer. When we look at the jumbo marketplace, those that have 10, 20,000 or more employees, the number goes to 16%. So perhaps a stronger tendency towards consumer-directed with the larger employers. Again, it's a crystal ball at this point.
Right.
We don't really know what will happen.
Now, some folks, HSAs were part of the whole ownership society sort of premise by former President George W. Bush. And I know anecdotally some folks have thought that some of the energy around HSAs, left the room when President George Bush left the Oval Office. Do you get that sense? And if so, that's one question, but then it seems like tough economic times are saying, hey, we may have backed away from consumer-driven health in a different economic market, but the economic market is sort of forcing our hand. What's your thought?
So let's talk about that. So median PPO deductible is now $1,000. Right. So we're not that far away from qualified plan for an HSA.
Yeah.
The second thing is, while many people are planning for retirement and saving money in their 401k or their Roth or whatever, they aren't planning for retiree medical. And we have seen a decline in employers offering retiree medical benefits. Some will say, well, the HSA, I can't use it for my premiums for pre-65 coverage. But the thing about it is that if you're only putting away, $1,000, $2,000 a year, it's not like you're going to accumulate a ton of money. The nice thing about putting the money in the HSA is that you get the triple tax advantage. It's the nicest thing the IRS has ever done for us, and it'll probably be the last thing, that's that nice that they do. The money's not taxed going in, it grows on a tax-free basis. You use it on a tax-free basis as long as you stick with the guidelines for a bona fide medical expense. So I think that as people in their financial planning focus more on what their exposure is for health care after they retire, I think that could give these plans more traction. Most employees haven't thought about that, and most employees assume that because they have active medical care, that their employer is still going to take care of them when they're retired.
Yeah. Now, two other sort of hot button issues I want to touch upon just real quickly is value-based sort of benefit design. That's something that just in the last 6 months to a year, at least on our side, we were thinking, oh, this is the new CEH. This is what everybody's sort of glomming onto. Real quick, what'd you find on that?
Yeah, so value-based, what does that mean? Some people call it evidence-based. Right. The idea is that if you focus particularly on your chronically ill, if you can get them in compliance with what they're supposed to be doing to take care of themselves, there's a huge ROI. In particular, diabetics are where there's the most documentation in the literature for that. So what does that mean from a design perspective? If you're a diabetic, so you have that as your diagnosis, and you need, meds, insulin, whatever it is, those two combined together equate to lower out-of-pocket for you, and that's an attempt to get you to be a higher compliant patient. And the early results are very good for that. There are some employers that have taken a very focused approach that says we're only going to do this for diabetics, high blood pressure, cholesterol. They've limited what those diagnoses are. There are others that have said, if you have a chronic condition, any chronic condition, we'll give you a lower copay for, the meds for that. To date, it's really been focused on the prescription drug component of it. I do think that we will see that evolve as we test more opportunities to use evidence-based design to get an ROI.
Okay, and the last thing, wellness. I mean, folks are constantly talking about wellness. What's
Yeah.
in your survey on wellness, and what have you heard from the people you've talked to?
Yeah. So as it relates to wellness, because of the economy and because of the pressure to demonstrate a return on investment for anything that you do, I think employers are going, and what our survey said is that employers will focus on those things that are very specific in what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. So your disease management programs, other types of things to raise awareness that can directly relate to an action that's going to happen. So some of the more fluffier type programs may not get the same type of support. We may see some cuts there, but I think for the direct connection for disease management, health management, that we're going to continue to see those because they have been documented to produce a return.
Well, great. Tracy, thanks so much for talking to us about your survey. There's lots of interesting stuff in there.
Thank you.